trauma, abuse, bullying, and... Never has an anime depicted the darkest realities of life more serious than this one. A reality that most anime shy away from. A reality where, for some, to live is to suffer. Where the thought of sleeping forever is all too enticing. A tragic display of the true horrors of humanity, where the cruelty of the world weighs down upon one innocent girl. This is the story of Takopi's Original Sin. An experience, one that showcases the agonizing truth of what it really means to suffer, and how that misery brings out the evil that resides within. Originally a manga created by Taizan 5, Takopi's Original Sin follows a happy alien and its promise to make a young girl smile, doing anything it possibly can to achieve this. Yet, sometimes nothing can stop the burdens of existing. The entire story is unique in the fact that it doesn't shy away from the disturbing truths of abuse, trauma, and bullying. Don't believe me? Just look at all the React YouTubers crying. Just look how sad he is. But in all seriousness, this is a story that breaks you down, tears you apart, and forces you to bear the agonizing weight of the world's darkest corners. A story that leaves you at the mercy of the horrors that lurk within. A story called Takopi's Original Sin. Meet Takopi, real name, whatever this is. A Happyian from planet Happy, now on a quest to spread happiness across the universe, landing on Earth and facing some trials before finally running into Shizuka, a young 9-year-old girl living a peaceful life with her dog. The first thing you'll notice about the story is just how innocent Takopi really is, and how he says P after every sentence, showcasing how sheltered a place like Planet Happy really is from other emotions other than just happiness. This also plays into his character design and the entire story's unique art style for that matter. His simple and smooth design complements his innocent nature, yet is massively contrasted to the human's rough features, indicating that the latter civilization has suffered much more than the Happyians. Shizuka is a prime example of this, showing no interest in any of Takopi's weird happy gadgets, commenting on Takopi's flappy wings, saying nothing would change. The next day, we see Shizuka with Takopi once again, yet something feels off with her. She's hiding from classmates from school who gloat about destroying someone's writing board, celebrating the bullying they've inflicted on another. There's a reason that Shizuka stays out of their sight, a reason that's impossible for the wholesome Takopi to understand. Wanting to return Shizuka's favour of feeding him, Takopi introduces her to the Happy camera, a camera that instantly prints photos but with a twist. You see, it actually has a special function that allows you to a function that the disinterested Shizuka ignores, instead leaving to buy another writing board because hers has gone missing again. Within the 6 days since Takopi's landing on Earth, not one time has he been able to sway Shizuka's mood, nor interest in his happy gadgets. It's only on the 6th day does he actually see Shizuka smile upon seeing her dog Chappy, instantly bringing her joy. Inside her home lies a barren wasteland, her mum working at night as an escort and her father nowhere to be seen. Takopii, of course, coming to the conclusion that mothers just give birth without a father. Despite the obvious hardship she suffers, Shizuka is alright as long as Chappy's by her side. He's been her savior throughout her most painful times. She'll always be fine as long as she has Chappy to lean on. Yet despite this, all the days of pain have eaten away at her, slowly degrading any bit of joy left in her. She can't go anywhere. Not to Planet Happy with Takopii, not to where her dad is. Nowhere. Not even Takopii can return to Planet Happy. He can't remember why, but it doesn't matter. All Takopii wants is to make Shizuka happy, just as long as it doesn't break the rules of his happy gadgets. A happy gadget must always be used in the presence of a happy-in. A rule Takopii hasn't even broken. Even if he can't return now, he vows to take Shizuka there one day, promising to make her smile from ear to ear, with Shizuka finally smiling at Takopii. In Shizuka's own words, she and a friend got into a fight with Chappy nowhere to be seen. Yet Takopii has just the thing she needs. The reconciliation ribbon. Tie your pinky finger to your friends with it and you'll instantly become friends again. What's more, it's strong and flexible. You can stretch it to infinity. You can even use it.
それ使いたい.
Finally showing an interest in a happy gadget, Takopii is ecstatic, yet Shizuka wishes to take her time with it, borrow it, and use it herself, breaking the most important rule of the happy gadgets. A rule that Takopii is willing to break, or to see Shizuka smile. So he entrusts it to her, watching her drift away, out of sight. Yet, as the day fades away, Takopii grows more anxious about Shizuka, and he opts to visit her home, where he finds...
Shizuka-chan, 何やってるんだっぴ? Shizuka-chan? 死んだ?
Shizuka has taken her own life. This entire scene, from witnessing Shizuka in such a battered state to Takopii finding her, to realizing just how grave his mistake was, is the most distressing moment I have ever seen in any anime. This is the reality of Shizuka's situation, a reality that many others face in the real world as well, where just existing means to suffer. I have no words for how this scene made me feel, only emotions. Anxiety, despair, and uneasiness swirled around as I watched this sequence of events unfold, only made worse through the show's cinematography, art, and lighting, showing the sad, disturbing reality of what it means to take one's life. Please, if you are struggling with thoughts of suicide, seek the help you deserve. Things always get better with time, and you are not alone. Takopii, now in shock, blames himself for Shizuka's passing. It's all because he didn't follow the rules, expressing deep sorrow and sorry for Shizuka.
ごめんなさい.
Despite his innocence, he knows what's happened. He knows that Shizuka didn't deserve this. Nothing can undo death. No happy gadget at Takopi's disposal. Nothing. But
これで写真を撮るピタこのハッピー画面にすぐ印刷されるんだピ
when you feed said image back into the happy camera, you can travel back in time, where you can ask Shizuka why she took her life. Where they can have lots of conversations, where Takopi can figure out a future in which Shizuka doesn't have to pass away, where he hopes to finally make her smile.
Takopi? ねえ
Takopi's character adds a great contrast to the overall story, being the light within the darkness that fills Shizuka's life. He adds happiness to a story filled with nothing but grief. His innocence and how he comes to learn of the horrors of humanity are one of the reasons that make this story just so interesting. Now, back in the past, Takopi's conviction to make Shizuka smile is at an all-time high, with the first step to understanding Shizuka being to accompany her at school. Despite Takopi's purity, we understand what's happening here, finally grasping the seriousness of Shizuka's bullying dealt upon by her classmates, or led by one girl in particular.
おはよ
Marina. By the way, the reason the class isn't talking about the pink alien creature on Shizuka is because of a happy gadget in the form of a flower that turns him invisible. The more you know. Immediately upon the lesson starting, Marina taunts Shizuka for forgetting her homework, yet despite the teacher's negligence, we know that isn't true. We know who really has her notebook. But Takopi doesn't. Maybe Shizuka passed away because she forgot her homework and got sad. But we can fix that. Thus begins Takopi's attempts in helping Shizuka, but in his own innocent way. Getting bullied about not eating lunch. Sad about not eating lunch? Let Takopi inhale it. With the help of the happy camera, Takopi is able to stop Shizuka from getting bullied without knowing that she actually is. Until she's told to meet Marina at lunch. Seeing how nervous Shizuka is, he opts to go for her. Morphing into a form of a happy gadget, where the two of them can make up, and this is where Takopi realizes this isn't a normal fight. This isn't a fight like he's experienced before. This is a fight filled with hatred for Shizuka, as we realize just how cruel and evil Marina is. A fight where no matter how much conviction Takopi has, he won't be able to stop the evil staring right at him. Marina's hatred for Shizuka clearly goes beyond the past of what Takopi can comprehend. It's only after saving himself with the happy camera does he realize that all he's done is add fuel to the fire, agitating Marina to an extreme extent. Yet, now that he knows who she really is, he's too scared to face her. All he can do now in Shizuka's place is run away and cry out for help. Yet, no one answers. Except for one classmate, Azuma, who despite his efforts to help Shizuka, he fails, after all.
どうせ変わらないよじゃあね
This has been Shizuka's school life ever since her mother and Marina's father became close. She hated her life. Yet, Takopi's made it just a little bit better. Despite Marina's torment, Shizuka's finally smiling just a little bit more. But there's always two sides to a story.
パパはお夕飯あの人と食べるそうだから。マリちゃんはママの味方だよね。
It's the next day, yet it's no ordinary day. For once, Marina seems disinterested in bullying Shizuka. The day peaceful even up until nighttime where they take a walk. A walk where she finally has someone other than Chappy by her side. Exactly like the times she once had with her father. Times she wished she could get back. She wished as hard as she could on the stars that her parents wouldn't get divorced, yet her wish never came true. A time where magic and God became no more than nonsense to her. Finally, Shizuka is opening up to Takopi, just like he wanted. This feels different compared to last time. The last time he saw her smile. She'll be gone this time tomorrow, and so will Chappy. But why? Why did she appear like that, holding Chappy's collar?
こんな時間に外出とか癒やしいね。
Instantly, Marina begins to mock Shizuka as she runs over to Chappy. Yet she's smacked by her, agitating Chappy in the process. And as she continues this abuse on Shizuka, Chappy snaps, fulfilling Marina's plan. To bystanders, a dog has bitten a child. And that's enough for it to be taken away. All Takopii understands that Shizuka is crying, something that's not supposed to happen, something he can fix. Yet, it's useless. Marina has been tracking them this entire time. Can we just talk about what just happened for a second? Are you telling me that not a single person even bothered to speak to Shizuka? I understand why their main concern would be for Marina, but come on, no one bothered to ask the clearly abused girl what happened and why Chappy bit her. Also, why do people spawn in straight away when Marina gets bitten, but are nowhere to be seen when Marina was beating Shizuka? People would have heard the preceding events unfold if they were that close, and would have asked for Shizuka's side of the story. Yet this still doesn't change how horrible this scene made me feel inside. All Chappy was doing was protecting Shizuka, unaware of the consequences. Shizuka has lost her only friend. In Takopi's eyes, he's confused why Marina would even come if she knows she'll get bitten. All he knows is that if he doesn't do something soon, that doesn't matter right now though. All he wants to do right now is save Shizuka, promising that he'll find a way no matter how much time it takes. Takopii isn't giving up until he finally makes Shizuka smile. It's loop 101. And things are still the same. as we finally get a glimpse of Shizuka's mother, a cold, uncaring person, annoyed at having to apologize to Marina's parents rather than worrying about her own child's well-being, stating how Chappy's gone to live with her father. Shizuka is all alone. Yet, she's still alive, with Takopii willing to do anything to get Chappy from her father and make Shizuka happy. Just maybe, if she goes to school, she'll be... Things are even worse than before. The whole class believing Shizuka to have caused Marina's injury, all except for... Azuma. Yet, even his efforts to get Shizuka to open up are once again futile. It's the afternoon, with Shizuka still in a state of shock. As Marina appears, wanting to have a talk about Chappy. Immediately, Marina mocks Shizuka, saying how Chappy's dead. Shizuka in denial. After all, Chappy can come back at any time. Shizuka doesn't have a father. She doesn't have a caring mother. She doesn't have friends. She has no one. We now see why Marina despises Shizuka so much. Everything, from her clothes to her food, is paid for by men Shizuka's mum seduces. Paid for by Marina's father. If it weren't for Shizuka's mother, Marina's parents would have never changed. All Takopii can do is watch in terror, remembering Shizuka happy with Chappy, remembering the pain she's endured, remembering what comes after this. Yet, this time's different. He'll gather the courage and do anything to save Shizuka. Marina is gone. And with that, the happy camera no longer works. Takopii has killed her, and there's no undoing it. Yet, Shizuka's wish has finally been fulfilled. Without Marina, her tormentor, she'll finally be okay. She'll be able to go to her father's and see Chappy. She's finally... smiling. Takopii has succeeded in his goal, none the wiser to the reality of the situation. This is where his true story begins, where there are no more do-overs.
Azuma-kun.
Understandably shocked, Azuma states just how wrong this really is. A person is dead. A person who was also in the midst of The things Marina did to Shizuka were horrible. There is truly no excuse for the evil that lurked within her. But there was a reason for this evil. But why should Shizuka care? Her tormentor is gone. Yet it's exactly as Azuma points out. A person is dead, and murder is murder. Shizuka's likely to get sent to juvie. Are they gonna believe an alien did this? There's only one thing that they can do. Hide the evidence.
そんなことできるわけがねえ、なんでできないの？
Shizuka needs Azuma's help.
お兄ちゃんはできたのに。
He's all she has. Eventually, they use another happy gadget to hide Marina, with Takopii transforming into her form, reluctant at first yet happy to help as long as Shizuka's smiling. As the three of them then bury her, with Takopii heading over to Marina's place to Despite Takopi's negligence, we see even clearer now just how abusive Marina's home life was. Marina wasn't just pure evil, but a child who fell victim to abuse, trauma, and manipulation. She was still human. Her father had been seeing Shizuka's mother while she was escorting, which tore Marina's family apart, turning both her parents into abusive and violent people, leaving Marina with trauma and deep psychological scars, forcing said trauma onto Shizuka, the daughter of the woman that took her father away from her, resulting in extreme torment and bullying. None of this, of course, is an excuse for her behaviour, but Marina's parents' abuse has directly influenced her, being just as manipulative and abusive as her parents. The next day, the three of them get together to devise a long-term plan, making their move to get Chappy from Shizuka's father's place in Tokyo during summer break. Whereas, for the time being, they'll brainstorm daily on short-term plans. Time Azuma doesn't have. Time he needs to use for...
外で遊ぶなんて珍しいじゃん。クラスの友達？
純也は本当はバイトなんかする必要ないんだよ。お小遣い。
Behind closed doors, Azuma secretly envies Junior, his older brother. He's always been the perfect child, the favorite, having as much allowance as he wants, yet still working part-time, just to buy a stupid ring.
取っちゃえばいいじゃん、指輪。そしたらきっとあの人ショックでバイト辞めちゃうよ。東くんならできそう。
Azuma's infatuation gets the better of him, and that night he sneaks into Junior's room. Oh, and Takopi's there as well. Yet, as he goes to take the ring,
見ろよこれ。
he remembers how proud Junior was when he got it, despite being able to have anything he wants.
お前それずっと使ってるだろ。次にバイト代入ったらさ、お前にも。
Fortunately, they're able to evade him due to the happy wings, yet not for long. Thankfully, Azuma is fine, yet they didn't get the ring. He just couldn't do it. Just like always. No matter how much he studied, Azuma has never reached the level Junior was at, and if it's not 100%,
こういうのも全部無駄かな。
it may as well be nothing. It's as if the only person who hasn't given up on him is Shizuka. As the days go by, we see the three of them all hanging out together, which, you know, isn't suspicious at all, preparing for their trip to Tokyo. Where behind the scenes lies something waiting to be discovered. Whilst contemplating the reason as to why he can't return to Planet Happy, Marina's parents argue behind his thoughts, before her father asks Marina, does that mean in Tokyo, where Chappy could be? That's great then. Of course Takopii would say yes, that'd be such a great help. Takopii did it. They might even be able to go before summer break. Shizuka's going to be so happy. Marina's mother snaps. She's sick of the way Marina talks now. How she used to be on her side. How she used to be obedient. Everything about her is different. The girl in front of her is not Marina. Despite the abuse and trauma she's put Marina through, she knows that this isn't her. All she wants is her daughter back, not someone pretending to be her. She just wants her to come back home. Marina did horrible things to Shizuka, yet Takopii now realizes how grave his mistake was. How his actions took away the life of a child that, although did evil things, was still human, with feelings and emotions, that once had a loving family. As the three friends walk through the woods, Takopii musters up the courage to talk about his change in mind. Yet Marina's been found. What the fuck am I looking at? I understand that these are 10-year-old kids and a small pink octopus thing, but wouldn't they be a little smarter and hide Marina more than 2 centimeters below the ground?
みんな辛いと思うんだけど、できる範囲で構わないから、今からおじさんたちにお話聞かせてもらえないかな。
It's alright. Like Azuma says, they've disposed of every single bit of evidence. Yet is this really alright? Takopii knows what Marina's gone through. He wants to tell the truth, but is it too late? Maybe if they turn themselves in now. Yet Shizuka still remains unfazed. She still wants to go to Tokyo, and she still wants Azuma's help. This is where you start to wonder, is this just Shizuka's innocence and trauma? Or has she been purposely manipulating Azuma? Shizuka is all Azuma has, the only person who hasn't given up on him.
Oi.
Yet his paranoia has already started to eat away at him. Junior must know something. He has to, but no one can find out. No one can know the truth.
ごめん。僕ちょっとトイレ。
Eventually, the police's questions arrive at Shizuka's home, but she evades suspicion due to Azuma's directions, questioning him on whether they're still going to Tokyo. But of course they're still going, but first, they need a stronger alibi. But it's alright, there's no way they'll suspect Shizuka.
Azuma-kun. テスト終わったよ。
It's the worst score he's ever received. Yet, he's finally been acknowledged by his mother. Maybe she knows what he's been up to. Maybe she knows how hard he's been working. Maybe she actually cares about his well-being.
君はもういいから。え？
She's given up on him. He's incapable of success. Why should she care about a son who can't achieve anything? The only person he has is Shizuka. He'll do anything to help her. Even if that means...
じゃあさ、これ持って自習してくれないかな。
For his entire life, Azuma has always been inferior to Junior. Junior could play games, hang out with friends, do what he wants, and still get perfect scores. He was always number 1 in the country, whereas Azuma was only 2nd in the whole town. But a futile effort in the eyes of their mother, a doctor who expects nothing but perfection from her children. But unfortunately, all Azuma had going for him was determination. Junior got the good genes, his mother's intelligence, her silky black hair he ruined, and of course, her perfectly sculpted double eyelids. He could never do anything right. He couldn't even save the girl that looks like his mother. Until...
東くんしかいないの。
For his whole life, Azuma has been trying to please his neglectful mother, but to no avail. This is why when Shizuka comes along, someone who resembles his mother, he becomes instantly infatuated and in love with her. This was his chance to finally do something perfect. Yet,
東くん。私にはもう東くんしかいないの。
this is his only chance. If he turns himself in, she'll wait for him. But in the meantime, she can find Chappy. All Azuma hopes is that she'll never give up on him. Shizuka has changed. She's manipulative. The times of abuse and trauma have twisted her. She knows that she's all Azuma has, and she's using that to her advantage. Before Azuma's able to turn himself in, however,
こんな早くにどこ行くんだよ。
he's confronted by Junior.
お前が殺したんだよ。
Azuma is a disgrace to their family. He's ruined everything for them. Junior's future, their mother's clinic. How's Azuma going to take responsibility for this?
なあ、大丈夫か?
How could Junior understand his pain? He's perfect. He does everything well. Everyone only notices Junior, not Azuma. He has no friends. He's a disappointment. Everyone's given up on him. Except for Shizuka. And...
いや、俺がいるだろ。
Junior. He couldn't care less about Azuma's test scores. Azuma is his little brother. And he loves him. Nobody is perfect at anything. Even Junior gets help from his girlfriend. He's terrible at video games. And their mama's pancakes were actually terrible. And Azuma's glasses don't even fit him anymore. And there's something that Azuma wants to tell Junior. As cicadas run rampant in the background, we hear mention of Azuma's outcome and how he told the truth, with the police believing that someone had forced him to do it, with rumors speculating that it was his classmate.
Shizuka-chan.
Just like Takopii says, maybe it's time to tell everyone the truth. But it's finally time for a vacation. Finally time to go to Tokyo to see Shizuka's father and get Chappy back. And off they go to the magical land of Tokyo, where they finally arrive at her father's place, where she can finally see her father and, of course, Chappy.
Shizuka, なんで急に?
This is Shizuka's father, but something's not right. Who are these kids calling him dad? And where's Chappy? That's not him. This isn't right. This is Shizuka's dad, but it's as if he's hiding something. It's as if he has truly abandoned Shizuka. But maybe those children just ate Chappy. Maybe they can cut open their stomachs and even Takopii knows that this isn't Shizuka anymore. He knows that she's changed. All he wants is for them to go home. He's sorry for causing all of this. He's willing to give her anything to make her feel better. All he wants is for her to smile. These eyes. Takopii. He's seen them before. How could Takopii have possibly forgotten? Something doesn't add up here. It's 2022, 6 years after Marina's death, yet here she is. And as for Takopii, it's as if the events of 2016 never even happened. What's really happening? Well, this is an alternate timeline, one where Takopii never visited in 2016, but in 2022, stumbling upon a teenage Marina instead of a 9-year-old Shizuka. But that begs the question, where is Shizuka? And what did Takopii mean when he said he'd forgotten something? Here, we see Marina as the target for Takopii's innocence, and although she's nowhere near as abusive as we've seen her, she's still just kind of mean, but at the same time, she's not the same person as before, also now having a scar on her face. or at the hands of. Her mother, unable to change her abusive ways. Yet Marina still helps her, makes her dinner, even getting their groceries, but she's forgotten something. Things have only gotten worse with Marina's mother. It's with broken glass that Marina's mum scarred her, traumatizing her, leaving her fearing for her life. All Marina wants is to be a happy mother someday, to raise her kids happy. Yet Takopii compares her to her mother, thinking the abuse she inflicts on the Marina is normal. After all, Marina does hit Takopii, just like how her mother does to her. But what good is a mother without a father? So off they go, Takopii dragging Marina to go find a partner. With Marina and Azuma now seeing each other, Marina's mother is ecstatic at the news, and all seems to be going well. He doesn't even mind the scar on her face. A lot happened when Marina was little. Her father left, her mother became a different person, she had no friends, and she was always alone. Clearly, karma had caught up to her and her bullying, where she then lost everything. Yet, things aren't so bad now. Takopii is doing what he's always wanted to do. Spread joy and happiness. Later, as Azuma and Marina walk together, we overhear a conversation regarding a new transfer student and how she's from the area and had a rough time when she was young, saying how she had tried to take her own life. Shizuka is alive. In this timeline, Takopii hadn't visited in 2016, where Shizuka took her life with an indestructible reconciliation ribbon, and so the rope she used here snapped, saving her life yet giving life to someone completely different. Someone with a terrifying look in their eyes. Someone out for revenge. This also means that Azuma never had that talk with his older brother, meaning that he's never changed either. He's still infatuated with her, thinking that he's all she's got, and vice versa. He no longer wants to be with Marina, and Marina's mother blames it all on her. Throughout all of this, Takopii is none the wiser to the abuse that has been occurring, not Shizuka's manipulation nor Marina's mother's abuse, at least until he arrives home. Marina has killed her mother. Just like Shizuka, Marina has been left all alone. But it's alright because Takopii has a plan. Use a happy gadget to go back in time and kill Shizuka when they were in 4th grade, just like Marina said. That way her problems must be cured. So off he goes, back home, leaving Marina all alone once again. Back on Planet Happy, Takopii asks his mother if he can use the big happy clock to go back to 2016 and kill Shizuka, with her mother agreeing, but on one condition. His memories will be erased, and he will be returned to the happy state of a newborn. He came and told her his plan. He came back home alone and he broke their most sacred commandment, and so he must be banned from ever returning there, and he must lose all of his memories. But Takopii has to go. He needs his memories. Even if that means defying his own mother, he's going back. Even if she doesn't understand, even if he loses his memory, he'll always remember to save Marina. How could Takopii have forgotten? It's because of her that Marina's family falls apart. Shizuka is evil, but Marina did evil things to her as well. And as for Takopii, he was the one who killed Marina.
Azuma-kun.
I'm sure most of you are all thinking the same thing. What the fuck is actually happening here? What sin is Takopi's mother's talking about? What timeline is first and where are we even now? But don't worry, I'm smart, so I hope you understand. Takopii didn't actually die from Shizuka hitting him. Rather, he was knocked out, where he then remembered his first visit to Earth, the first timeline, 2022, where he meets Marina, is banned from Planet Happy for breaking the rules, and promptly loses his memories upon returning to 2016 Earth. This is where the second timeline, aka the present timeline, where we see Shizuka's story begins, where eventually they go to Tokyo and he's knocked out, remembering the initial goal he had, to kill Shizuka and save Marina, using his happy wings to return to the playground, where he then becomes conflicted as to what he should even do. All you really have to remember here is Marina's timeline is for first and Shizuka's timeline is for second, aka the present timeline, but Takopii is still alive and returns to the playground. But there's still one question. What was the commandment he broke, or was going to break? Why was Takopii banned from Planet Happy? What was his original sin? After confusing Azuma with his previous goal of wanting to make Marina happy, Takopii asks for him to see Shizuka with him, yet Azuma can't. His mother is bedridden from all the stress. Who knows what will happen to the clinic, and as for Junior, he might not even be able to go to college. He can't see Takopii nor Shizuka anymore. Yet Takopii doesn't want that. Was it Takopi's fault? Did he ruin the fun times they had? And most of all, why does he still want to see Shizuka smile? Shizuka did hurtful and cruel things to people, just like Marina did. Yet, it's as Azuma explains. People can be good and bad at the same time. Yet, it was still fun for Azuma to hang out with Shizuka and Takopii. They were all friends. Takopii was kind to Azuma, and he's grateful to have been able to hang out with him. Yet, he still wasn't good enough. He still couldn't save Shizuka. But maybe even that was a mistake. Azuma has just one final request for Takopii. If Takopii ever rewinds time again, and if by chance they meet again, tell that version of him.
兄貴と喧嘩でもしてみろって。バイバイ。
As the seasons go by, we see articles detailing the capture and eventual discovery of 2 missing girls. Shizuka's plan failed. Here, we see a glimpse into Shizuka's home life before her parents' divorce, where all she had to depend on was once again Chappy. Back then, she'd wish upon a star when troubled. She wished for a dad who wouldn't leave, a school without bullies, yet what was it that she truly wanted? After all this time, Shizuka's back, yet she's still the same. She still has that same look in her eyes. Yet Takopii doesn't want that. He doesn't want her to hurt people, to make them sad, to make herself sad. Yet, what else is she supposed to do? Her father treated her like a stranger. Her mother stopped coming home. She has no grown-ups to depend on. Her stuff always goes missing. She's always getting bullied by everyone. What is she supposed to do? What should she have done when she couldn't see her father, when no one turned up on Parents' Day, when people got mad at Chappy's barking? Shizuka has no one to listen to her. What else could she have done? Yet, Takopii doesn't know. He doesn't understand. He couldn't do anything for her. He kept trying and trying, but always failed. He left her all alone. And he's sorry for that. But apologizing won't bring back Chappy. It won't bring back her father. It won't bring back her mother. Everything's ruined. And all she has to depend on now is Takopii. It's now just the 2 of them. And Takopii has one final happy gadget for Shizuka. The happy camera? We've already seen it, and it's broken. It doesn't work anymore. Yet, there's one last thing Takopii can do. By giving up his happy powers, the camera will function one last time. But he must also give up himself. His soul, his being, his existence. Willing to do it all, just to make Shizuka smile. He thanks her for playing with him, for being friends with him, for feeding him that day, for their time together. Takopii was happy with her, and is willing to give himself up, to help Shizuka get her heart's desire. As if watching over her, we hear Takopii narrate over Shizuka's normal school day, where Marina does her usual, bullying Shizuka about the flower she wore the day previously. Something feels different. Even Azuma seems more confident in himself, yet this time, he stops himself from helping Shizuka. Maybe they were truly never meant to be friends. Shizuka had always been alone, yet so was Marina. As seen before, she blamed Shizuka for splitting her family apart. It's all Shizuka's fault. Everything is her fault. All it takes for Marina to stop is one oddly familiar figure. A useless piece of garbage, but it looks concerned, as if it's watching over them, like it wants to talk to you endlessly. It's stupid and useless. All it does is talk, yet that's because this is it. This is why Takopii was banned from Planet Happy. When he returned home, his mother said, if that is the conclusion you have reached, implying that his conclusion at the time was wrong. He was supposed to return with something else. But what conclusion did he reach this time? Talking brings happiness. This is Planet Happy's most sacred commandment that he broke. This is his original sin. At that time, he didn't intend on speaking to Shizuka upon traveling back in time. He just wanted to kill her, a word his mother doesn't even understand, but it doesn't matter. She knew he wasn't going to spread happiness like he was initially supposed to. He broke the rule by not properly talking with Marina and through his plan with Shizuka. His mother seeing through this and erasing his memories so that he could have another chance to remember this commandment, to know how you actually spread happiness. And it's through erasing himself does he remember this, where he can leave slight hints of himself and the time they've all spent with him, so that all the characters can realize this crucial idea. Even if they don't understand why, in their subconscious, Marina and Shizuka remember Takopii, although it's like a lost memory, where all that's left is Takopi's final message. Something he even forgot himself. The conclusion he never got to tell his mother. Talking brings happiness. Talk to learn, to understand, to feel how someone feels, and then you'll be able to acknowledge the other person's pain and suffering, where you'll realize there's no one that wants to suffer. Not me, not you, not Shizuka or Marina. Everyone wants to be happy, and through talking are we able to work through tough times and move onwards to better lives. There were so many things Takopii couldn't fix. Their broken families, loved ones, mothers and fathers. But he hopes, through the faint memory of himself that watches over Azuma, Marina and Shizuka, that they can reconcile and that they aren't alone anymore. Hoping that they can all reach adulthood together.
Arigato. Bye bye.
And thankfully, years later, it seems like they both finally achieved happiness. And that is the entire story of Takopi's Original Sin. Possibly one of the most important stories to be told in anime history, and one of my new personal favorites regarding both the manga and anime. I originally wanted to include missed content from the manga as well, but there's fucking nothing. This has to be the most faithful anime adaptation in history, and if anything, it adds to the dark nature of the story through its incredible animation, soundtrack, composition, and voice acting. Everything about this anime is perfection, being achieved in just 6 episodes. But what really drives the story home is not just how it looks, but how it makes you feel. The emotions of all the characters, their traumatic situations, are all things that do happen in the real world, and it's replicated perfectly in this story. I find it extremely difficult finding the words to describe how much this story means to me. Now, I haven't gone through the same traumatic and abusive situations that the characters had suffered through within the story, but I do relate to their feelings of depression, loneliness, failure, regret, and just wanting the pain to stop. Feelings many people also experience every day. Azuma, for his entire life, has always been compared to his older brother. Junior, no matter what, always got perfect test scores. He could play games, hang out with friends, have a job, and he would still be number 1 in the country, as the son of a doctor should be. Perfection. Azuma, however, never reached those heights. No matter how hard he tried, he could never get 100%. His scores were still amazing, 80 to 90% and above, always. But in the eyes of his mother, if it's not 100%, it may as well be nothing, constantly belittling him as if he were just useless. Then suddenly, those pancakes don't seem so appealing anymore. It's this feeling of failure I resonate with heavily. I'm constantly trying my hardest to achieve my goals, but even so, there are times I just feel defeated. The enormous pressure I put on myself, taking control and breaking me down. Azuma was neglected, felt imperfect, felt like a failure. This is why he helps Shizuka. If he can't please his mum, he can surely help a girl who resembles her. But even so, he still failed. He couldn't even help one girl. Yet, no one's truly perfect in this world. Not Junior, nor his mother. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone fails. And seeing Azuma acknowledge this fact made me do the same. No one is perfect, and that's okay. I love how Azuma's story was treated with just as much respect as Marina and Shizuka's. Abuse is abuse, no matter what, and Azuma experienced it differently to the girls, shedding light on the various perspectives of how said trauma can destroy someone. Marina is the primary antagonist throughout the story. She did some truly evil things to Shizuka. Nothing can excuse how horrible her bullying was. Yet, Marina was suffering as well. There was a reason for her bullying, and although it still doesn't excuse her behavior, it still shows us the perspective of why people do evil things. Marina's father was sleeping with Shizuka's mother, destroying their family and turning her parents into abusive people. This behavior being turned on Marina as well. Her mother would manipulate her. If she wasn't on her side, then she wasn't her daughter, being physically and emotionally violent to her. Her mother despising Shizuka's mother for what she did. This idea that it's all her fault being pounded into Marina's subconscious, bleeding into a hatred for Shizuka as well. None of this was Shizuka's fault, but it's what she's been taught to think through her mother's manipulation and the trauma of a dysfunctional household. Her parents' actions bleeding into her own as she torments Shizuka. How her mother does the same to her. Again, none of this still excuses her actions, but there's no denying that Marina was a victim of abuse, showing us how trauma can warp our way of thinking, and this type of thing happens to everyone. I'm not saying everyone will do evil things like Marina did, but think back to a time where you were at your lowest point and you lash out at those around you, blaming anyone and anything for your pain and suffering. Sometimes good people do bad things. Marina experienced the same. She was suffering through extreme abuse as a 10-year-old. Of course that's going to mess up her way of thinking, leading her to blame everything on Shizuka. Marina's story showed us the humanity that lies beyond the evil actions of a person, a perspective that is important to consider. Her actions cannot be excused, yet her pain and suffering can still be understood. For many years, Shizuka has experienced the absolute worst that humanity can offer. From an early age, Shizuka's parents were clearly abusive towards each other, straining their relationship as a family, resulting in their eventual divorce. Her father abandoning Shizuka as if she were no more than a distant memory, and her mother constantly neglecting her as if Shizuka were just excess baggage. Her only friend in the world being Chappy. Even at school, she's all alone. The constant bullying from her classmates and extreme abuse at the hands of Marina eventually leave her with no one, leading to one conclusion to be made, one way to finally end all the pain and suffering. A conclusion that many victims of abuse, trauma, and mental health lead to. Because when your life is filled with nothing but despair, what's the point of going on? What's the point if every day is a struggle to get by and you have no one else by your side? Things aren't guaranteed to get better. Nothing can bring back Shizuka's father. Nothing can bring back her mother. Nothing can bring back Chappy. What was she supposed to do? All this and more lead to Shizuka's breakdown. Just like Marina, in her own way, Shizuka becomes manipulative, abusive, vengeful, willing to do anything to get her way. All the years of pain have eaten away at her, turning her into a completely different person. Because when you finally break down after years and years of struggle, the whole world seems vastly worthless. The world treated Shizuka horribly, so why should she care about the world? When everything you love is gone, and you're left all alone, what is there to even care about? What should you even do when everything in your life has been ruined? Many people out there, including myself, have felt Shizuka's struggles. I haven't been a victim of abuse like Shizuka, but I have felt the world crumble around me. I have felt like I'm all alone in this world. But no matter how hard things get, suicide is never the answer. There's always an answer to your struggles. You just have to find it. And for Shizuka, she found it through Takopii. Takopii is one of the most fascinating characters I've seen in any anime. How his kind, innocent nature contradicts the dark nature of the show makes for such an interesting and unique contrast. Takopii brings out the light within the darkness, but he also accidentally did the opposite. Just like the others, Takopii did horrible things. That doesn't mean he's evil. He just couldn't understand the complexity of Marina's and Shizuka's emotions, just like how they couldn't understand each other's. Marina couldn't understand that nothing at all was Shizuka's fault, and Shizuka didn't know about Marina's abusive home life. Without Takopii, they never would have realized that talking brings about happiness. Only through talking to each other and understanding each other's circumstances is Marina able to let go of her hatred for Shizuka. To talk about your feelings, to let go of whatever trauma is holding you down, to understand that everyone suffers and that everyone wants to be happy. That's what brings about happiness. That's what's great about this story. Azuma, Marina, and Shizuka all suffered differently and reacted differently to their trauma. But what connects them is the fact that they have all suffered. But even though their situations are all different, they are all still human. They all just want a life without suffering. They just want to be happy. It shows us that no matter the circumstances, no matter how much mental health, trauma, and abuse you have suffered through, you deserve a chance to be happy. In In no way am I saying that this series will instantly change your outlook on life, but it does teach us about the darkest realities of the human experience and the perspectives of said experience. But to understand another's suffering is to talk about that suffering, to realize that we are not alone in wanting to be rid of our pain, to realize that everyone wants to be happy, no matter their background and no matter their situation. I truly think this is the most important anime to come out in years. Its depictions of mental health, abuse, trauma, and bullying are the most impactful and mature I've seen in any anime. An anime that really does deserve the rare rating of a 10 out of 10. A true masterpiece across the board, whether you read the manga or watch the anime. A series that broke me down, but also picked me back up. A series called Takopi's Original Sin. Thanks for watching the video. As always, I really appreciate it. If you want to see me cover a certain anime, manga, or game, or whatever, just leave it in the comments below. Just please don't ask me to cover Re:Zero. The new season was fuck you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.